I once helped build an empire. Today, I leave it behind.
Here, every road began with a trade. Our cargo carried more than value. It carried the reputation of an empire. The camels would carry our future across lands I had never seen.
Every step carried me farther from the only home I had ever known.
The Silk Road was not a single road, but countless journeys woven together. Looking back, I realized we had become a moving city.
Every traveler carried a different map, but all of us followed the same dream.
The road never waited for anyone. Neither could we. Ahead lay deserts, kingdoms, and a world larger than anything I had ever imagined.
Behind us lay the heart of the Han Empire. Ahead, the frontier. Beyond these gates, the Emperor's protection would grow weaker with every mile. Gold could buy many things, but not a single drop of water in the desert. The camels knew this road better than any of us.
The mountains reminded us how small we truly were.
Not all treasures were carried in saddlebags. Some traveled as stories.
All right, and that's how I tricked the tax collector.
Daffing.
The farther west we traveled, the wider the world became.
No one crossed the Silk Road alone. Home had already disappeared beyond the horizon, but the journey had only just begun.
Tomorrow, we would leave the green world behind and enter the land of sand.
Beyond this point, every drop of water mattered. The desert tested our patience long before it tested our strength. In the desert, high, even a pile of stones could mean the difference between life and death.
Out here, generosity was measured one sipe at a time. The mountains looked close enough to touch, but they remained days away. The desert never attacked with anger, only with endless patience. Sometimes, the only thing I could see was the camel walking ahead of me.
When the dust settled, every familiar face felt like a miracle. No palace I had ever seen was more beautiful than a well in the desert. We had survived the desert's first trial, but the road to the west had only begun.
After days of dust, we finally saw the color green again.
The sound of water was more beautiful than any song.
For the first time in many days, the desert no longer lived on my skin.
Every language sounded different, but every smile meant the same thing.
On this road, trust was often worth more than gold.
This is good.
Yes, good.
Around one fire, strangers became companions.
The Silk Road traded more than goods. It traded knowledge. For one peaceful evening, The road allowed us to rest. Every oasis was a promise that somewhere beyond the next horizon, life waited again. For the first time, the world felt larger than China.
We spoke different languages, yet we understood the language of trust.
Some treasures crossed mountains long before they reached my hands.
Every traveler carried a different homeland and a different dream.
Even when words failed, music found a way.
Knowledge traveled the Silk Road as faithfully as any caravan.
Here, no one stood at the center of the world. We all met in the middle.
Every caravan carried a different destination, but every road carried the same hope. I had come seeking profit, but I found something far greater. I found the world. Silk was light enough to carry, yet precious enough to cross continents. Every trade brought home something our own land could not create. Some said these horses could outrun the wind itself. Every thread carried the story of the people who had woven it. Before I saw distant lands, I smelled them.
Ideas crossed borders far more easily than armies.
Maps were never finished, because every journey taught us something new.
A well-packed camel could carry the future of an entire family. The goods traveled far, but the ideas traveled even farther.
I thought I was carrying merchandise across the world, but in truth, the Silk Road was carrying the world toward each other. The road home looked familiar, but I no longer saw it with the same eyes. Every mile east felt lighter, yet I carried far more than when I left. Our camels carried treasures, but my greatest treasure could never be packed.
Strangers had become brothers somewhere along the road.
Crossing the frontier felt less like returning, and more like beginning another journey. The fields had never seemed so alive until I had seen the emptiness of the desert.
At last, the greatest city in the East stood before me once again.
The city had not changed, only the man walking through it.
Every journey has one destination, more precious than any treasure.
I had returned home, but part of my heart would always remain somewhere along the Silk Road. As I returned home, others were only beginning their journey.
Every generation believed it was discovering the road for the first time.
One day, these roads would belong to those who followed after us.
Some journeys crossed east to west. Others crossed one human heart to another. The road never stopped moving, even when we did.
Every path connected to another, until the whole world seemed woven together. The Silk Road did not erase our differences. It taught us to value them. Long after I was gone, the caravans would continue.
The travelers changed, but the road remembered every footprint.
The Silk Road was never just a road. It was a bridge between worlds.
The road did not end when I returned home. It simply continued without me. Every object carried a memory far greater than its value.
Some journeys are passed from father to son, not through maps, but through stories.
The world had quietly become part of our everyday lives.
Every sunset marked the end of one journey and the beginning of another. Seasons changed, kingdoms changed, yet the road endured.
No single empire owned this road. It belonged to everyone willing to walk it.
The greatest treasure I found was never carried on a camel. It was the understanding that the world was far larger than I had imagined.
My journey was complete. Theirs had only just begun.
I once believed the greatest achievements of mankind were built from stone, but I learned they could also